Hello, so this is Fundamentals of Case Management Practice, Skills for Human Services, Chapter 14, Document and Initial Inquiries. Walk-ins, whenever possible, are seen the same day, usually feel their situation is urgent. Seeing the person now could prevent significant problems in the future. Filling out the new referral or inquiry form, steps 1, 2, and 3. 1. Place the client's name, sex, date of birth, and address at the top of the form. 2. Place a home phone number on the form and a work number of the client if the client is working. 3. The client will either A. be a minor and have a parent or guardian, in which case you circle the or underline parent on the form and write in the name of the parent, or be an adult with a spouse, in which you can underline or circle spouse on the form and write in the name of the spouse, or be neither of these, in which case you write NA in big letters on that line. Filling out the new referral or inquiry form, steps 4 and 5. 4. If the person is employed, place the name of the employer on that line. If the person is not employed, place an A on that line. If the person is in school, place the name of the school, complete with what kind of school, college, elementary school, high school on that line. If the person is not in school, place the NA on that line. So this is step 6. The client will either A. be a self-referral, meaning the person found out about your agency through the phone book or a friend and called in on his or her own. Most calls are self-referrals. If that is the case, write self on that line. Or be referred by a doctor or other professional. In that case, place the person's name on that line. You are asking the client who referred you to our other services. Step 7, underline the section marked Chief Complaint. Always tell why the person called today. Do not say the person called today because her husband is abusing her. The husband may be abusing her, but what made her go to the phone today? Capturing highlights of the chief complaint. Keep the reasons from being too complicated. Do not create clients who are experiencing a psychiatric emergency. Be very specific. Give specific facts of the client's problems. When, where, how often, what is going on currently. Do not use vague general descriptions. Keep the reasons for the call brief. On this form, give only the immediate details. Save the detailed background information for the social history you take from the client in person. Filling out the new referral or inquiry form, step 8 and 9. 8. Under previous treatment, keep the notes brief. Just write when and where, and with whom, if you know that, and for what. Keep from being too wordy in this section. The intake is taken by you. This is the first place your name is to appear on this form. Put the date of the intake next to your name. Step 10, under disposition, note the name of the person to whom you referred the new client for intake and the date of the intake appointment. In many settings, the person who handles the phone inquiries is not the same person who sees the client when they come in for their first appointments. For training purposes, we will assume that you will be doing both the phone inquiry and the client intake, in which case you could write your own name along the date of the intake appointment on that line. Filling out the new referral or inquiry form, step 11. Under verification sent, write yes and the date. The date you use here is the date you send on the verification form, usually the same day on which you take the phone inquiry. Evaluating the client's motivation and mood. Always end your chief complaint section with a sentence or two about how the client sounded on the phone or how the client seemed to you. Does the client sound animated or depressed? Does the client speak normally or seem pressured or vague? Does the client seem to want to get help or use the services? Did the client tell you how he or she is feeling? After the form is filled out, after a person has inquired about services from your agency, it is important to bring the person in for a more thorough history and evaluation of the problem. If the person is seeking services, you will set up an appointment for the caller on the phone at the time of the call or soon after you hang up. The next step is to send a letter verifying or confirming this appointment. Filling out the verification of appointment form. On the verification form, be sure that the date you send it out is the same date you said you sent it out on your new referral or inquiry form. Be sure to address the client by name. Fill in the date, time, staff, and location of the interview. The date is the date you listed under disposition on the inquiry form. You can decide on a timeline. The staff person will be you. Sign your name. Your signature should line up precisely under sincerely or over case manager. Do not sign out to the right. So that's it for chapter 14. Thank you for listening.